Hi, it's Sarie from Parent Plus. Just a quick video because of quite a few questions have been asked actually about alcohol and when we've been talking about anxiety in the Parent Plus membership club. And alcohol's come up as one of the ways that often people, myself included, will soothe themselves. So, oh, I'll just have a glass of wine to chill out. I've had a stressful day at work, and I hear it a lot. I'm not here to say that's really wrong and shouldn't do that, because that would make me a hypocrite actually, because it is something that I will do at times as well. So really what it's to do is just to kind of highlight some of the facts really, and some of the I suppose, yeah, how alcohol works and what it's doing. And again, this is not to scare people, and this is not also for people who may be drinking in excess, who would describe themselves as having a drink problem. But actually, for those of us that may use it and sometimes question, why do I, just have a glass of wine to relax? And is it okay for me to have a glass of wine every day? And all of those kind of questions that kind of find people asking. So, not a medical professional by any means. So, there are plenty of places you can find out loads. I mean, there's hundreds of sites actually with facts about alcohol and things like that. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of an insight and then link that to anxiety, which is really because we are covering that in the first module in the Parent Plus Club. So our brains do rely on quite a delicate balance of chemicals and processes. So alcohol is a depressant. Whichever way we look at it, that's what it is. So that means that can and will disrupt that balance, affecting your thoughts, your feelings, the way you behave and things like that. And obviously those levels will vary according to how much alcohol you've drank. Okay, so again, it affects the neurotransmitters in our brain, which will send signals around our brain from one part to the other. And that relaxed feeling you can get when you have that first drink of, okay, so it's helping me de-stress slightly. And that's because actually what it's doing is it's making chemical changes in your brain to tell your brain, initially go into the part, I think, that stops your inhibitions, which obviously makes sense when we're drinking and feeling more relaxed. Okay, so what's also happening and why this, I think, links quite a lot to anxiety is because the peripheral blood cells within our body will start to relax, and that will then cause our blood pressure to drop. So in order for us to maintain a sufficient blood flow really around our body and around our organs, our heart rate will increase. Okay, and this can also then mean that your breathing rate might speed up. So the more alcohol you put into your body, I know that, again, people have described, well, I feel more relaxed, which may be the case. However, if your heart rate is speeding up and your breathing is speeding up, these are very, very similar physical reactions that you would also experience when having anxiety, which sometimes why the two can then become entangled and mixed. So am I anxious because I've drank? Have I drank because I'm anxious? And it's a bit like a vicious cycle. So it is important to recognise that some of the symptoms and the physical after effects of alcohol will be very similar to anxiety. So when people talk about that fear the next day or feeling overwhelmed and anxious, that's partly why, and it might be actually that you're misreading some of the signs and the signals from your body, and it's actually purely the alcohol and your body trying to function in order to deal with the alcohol you put into your body. Okay, so again, should I drink? Is it okay for me to drink every day? Should I drink less often? Personal choice, personal preference. And again, if you'd want to know specifically, then you'd speak to a medical. If you did feel that you had any worries or concerns that you were drinking too much, then speak to a professional. Okay, but I've just written down here in front of me, the Department of Health say do not regularly drink more than 3 to 4 units for men and 2 to 3 for women. And really, I think a lot of people, when they talk about, oh, I'll just have 1 glass of wine a night, and how they justify it and how I've justified it in the past is to say, oh, well, 2 to 3 units is fine, so 1 glass a night is fine. But actually, it also says you need to give your body and your mind time to recover. So if you're doing that for a couple of days in a row, that 1 glass, you then need to give your body a break from it for at least a few days, it says 48 hours, but, for a few days. All of this is on the Department of Health website. But, I suppose the reason I'm saying this is because, again, if we are going to use alcohol in order to soothe ourselves, for that feeling, that initial feeling of 1 glass of wine where I might feel a bit calmer, you've got to really recognise that actually that can very quickly change and have the opposite effect. It's about giving yourself and your body some rest. The other thing is 2 to 3 units. Okay, people can get confused of how much that is. You know, if you're going to be having a 250 ml, what probably in a bar is a large glass of wine, that's taking you already over that amount. So the one or then the 2 glasses, which might not feel a lot, you could almost be doubling your daily allowance just by having 2 glasses of wine even sat at home. So just something to bear in mind, really. Okay, so as I said, it's just a brief video, just a little bit of awareness, alcohol awareness. And if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask us in the club. Or as I say, there's loads of really helpful, useful websites out there about alcohol. You could just literally Google it and it gives you loads of suggestions. And hopefully we'll see you in the club soon. Cheers.